type this. 1 second, I'm tweeting this live, fool. No, I'm tweeting this. Let me tweet this live. Oh, wow, that's amazing.
So, I don't know. Now it plays nothing.
Oh, this is going to be fantastic.
Well, I guess it.
Now, look at this. This is actually happening. I'm sorry. You know, a wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. I just want to say that first. But we are sorry. We're sorry to start the show late, a little bit like, 5 minutes late. And I'm sending this little tweet out to the Twitterverse. And here it goes. Send this. You guys, you know we're getting serious about Thanksgiving now. Because here at theonering.net, we welcome you all to our first annual live show of our Friendsgiving celebration, which is open to everyone here in Los Angeles who happens to be, you know, without a family to go to and not able to travel back home for the holidays. Well, if you've got the plan, you know, if you've got the available time, then make a plan to come to Scum and Villainy Cantina. This is where we're broadcasting live from the new heart of geekdom here in Hollywood, is at Scum and Villainy. And it's here at the corner of Hollywood Boulevard and Cahuenga. I believe it's 6377, or is it 6733? Hollywood Boulevard. Hey, if you're on Google Maps, look up Scum and Villainy and type it in your head as if you're thinking like the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And hear the voice of Sir Alec Guinness. While you type it in Google Maps, you'll hear his voice in your head, Scum and Villainy. But don't type in "we must be cautious," because then you will confuse Google Maps. Just type in the words, the first 3 words, not the last part where he says we must be cautious. But that is the same thing Gandalf says. It's the same exact thing as we know when they're lost in the darkness of Moria, and Gandalf says, "There are older and fouler things than orcs in the deep places of the world." What does he say then? Boom, we must be cautious. It's the same thing that Alec Guinness says about Scum and Villainy, but approach with caution. Hey, Ben, what are you doing? We're live now. Come say hi to the folks here. Look at this. We're setting up our first Friendsgiving for all of us friends.
Tolkien Friendsgiving.
The Tolkien family is all
That's
together.
right.
You know, friends and family brought together with Caroline. There's Hannah and Letitia Greenwood. Yes, before it was Mirkwood, it was Greenwood the Great. And there's our favorite co-host, Hannah. Come here, Hannah. Say hi to the folks. Hi, Ben. They're setting up behind us. You see the busy ants, little
Hola.
ants running around. Busy.
There we go. We're good.
Yes. Welcome. Say hi to the folks. Say,
Oh, wait.
hey,
Okay,
they can see
looking
us.
here.
And I can
Hi.
see you. Look
Hey.
at this. There's going to be a feast for the ages prepared for us. And you know what I need to pull up together? Together, we're going to find the quote from Gandalf where he talks about everybody wants to know what's prepared by the chef, and they want to know what's going to be served. But you know what? Sometimes just hold off, because surprise remains the better delight. The better delight when you withdraw from questioning the chef too much, and the chef takes a better delight in you being surprised by knowing what's being served. I got to find that quote. All right, guys, I know you're with us live. Because it's a live show, oh my God, is that a baby or a turkey?
Both.
You know what? I need you to set me up on that joke, Hannah. This is my co-host, everyone.
Yes.
Live on
Hi,
the One.
how you doing?
You're live for all the OneRing.net fans of J.R.R. Tolkien and The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings and all the worlds of Middle-earth. And here's my lovely, often co-host, Hannah, young filmmaker extraordinaire. Hannah, set
Hello.
me up on the joke, okay?
All right.
Say out loud, say 12, just whisper it out loud as if you can't believe it, and say 12 pounds. 8 ounces. Can you believe it? Just say it like that.
All
Just say it like that. Trust me.
12
Set me up on the joke.
pounds. 8 ounces. Can you believe that?
Is that a turkey or a baby? Oh, sorry. Anyways, sorry. Stupid joke.
Oh my
I love that joke
God.
though. Yeah. They're taking it out of the cooler. The chefs have been busy in the kitchens.
Yes.
Let's
Very
say
busy.
The house elves of House Greenwood All the busy house elves have been in the kitchens underneath the school. Very, very busy. Not getting paid proper union wages, by the way.
Oh
in
my
case you didn't know
gosh.
that.
Excuse you, we are hobbits,
We
not
are
house
going
elves.
deep cuts. And Friendsgiving, hey guys, welcome to our Friendsgiving on the OneRing.net. And look at the bars open. These lovely folks are going to serve you. You guys come on down. It's Cahuenga Boulevard and Hollywood Boulevard. Come join us.
Yes.
Yes, what's happening? Can you describe the mischief? Look, they have chafing dishes. They're going to set up hot pans.
We got food.
Do you guys need hot water from the kitchen?
No,
to
we
put
got
under because I've got this casserole dish right here. Did you see the video that's on the OneRing.net?
Yes.
You guys go to our Twitter feed right now to see the bubbly, cheesy mushroom,
Goodness.
crispy onion goodness
Yes.
of my family recipe of the made with cream of mushroom soup and French cut green beans and tons of garlic.
Cliff, you're killing me here.
I wish it had been fresh garlic. I wish to God if I had really bothered to make it right and I have had the time, I would have sauteed so much garlic first and then put it in there with almond slivers at the end. Just as a finishing touch, the almond slivers.
So you're telling me
But the almond slivers
This
were
has enough-
outrageously high priced and they demanded too much on our water ecology, so I took off the
Oh.
almonds. They were like $5 a bag. Do you believe the price?
Ouch.
The price you got to pay? Hey, Ben, welcome to the show, by the way. Hi, guys. You can join us live and you can share with us your Thanksgiving memories of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings and your
Yes.
Thanksgiving memories. And you can call us or text us. Floating over my head right now is the hotline 530-64-FRODO. That is
Frodo.
the OneRing.net hotline. Is that right? 536? No, did I say that wrong?
I don't know.
I
I'm
said
like half functioning right
It's
now.
area. No, really. You're going to see
I
it
don't know,
floating
I don't
over my head just now. Oh, gosh. Look at that beautiful
Oh,
turkey.
there it is.
Oh, wow. Move the camera in on that real close. They can't even see that. Okay, guys, I'm going to go off camera, and then I'm going to keep talking. Because that's what Grace Jones would do when she's doing a costume change. She would go off camera, off stage, and no one would see her for 7 minutes while the band was playing a riff. All right. Now, can you hold my microphone? All right, here you go, honey.
Oh.
Hold the mic for me. Watch this. Can you guys see this? I got to bring this into the camera. All right, you guys. All right, you got to see this. This is just amazing. This is just amazing. I'm excited.
I'm excited. Words, things, and ideas. While Cliff takes a swig of water.
Look at this, ladies and gentlemen.
Careful,
Wanna
it's
do-
heavy.
wanna do the joke again?
It's heavy.
It's heavier than 12
It's-
pounds, 6 ounces.
It was 16.
Oh my gosh. Is that a turkey or a baby?
I don't know, it's both.
This turkey comes from the finest birds of the South Farthing. Spill your words out, Clifford.
Yeah,
The finest turkeys of the South Farthing. And look at, oh my God, it smells so amazing. Oh my God, there's fresh fruit to garnish this. We're gonna carve it live on the air. You guys, you're gonna
It's
join
go-
us
it's
live.
gonna
We're carving
happen.
this turkey.
It's
We're
gonna
serving a
happen.
meal. We're absolutely serving a meal. I love this. And back here, the kitchen is so busy. The little house elves are busy putting everything together. Can I say it's lovely to see you? Hannah, how are you? How have you been?
Frazzled.
You've been frazzled but safe.
Frazzled.
For those
Yep.
of us who are, following us, and everybody's been, aware of the wildfires in Southern California. Luckily, my family and her family have not been affected. Lucky
Yes.
us. So
We're
those are
very,
one of
very
many
fortunate.
blessings that we're thankful for the many, many things we're thankful for this year of being alive and healthy,
Oh,
and
yeah.
whole and well and sound of mind and happy to be Lord of the Rings fans all together in this journey that we're on together as we get ready to embark on the next huge pop culture legacy of Amazon Studios bringing
It's gonna be big.
big 5 seasons
Bigger than
of
big.
amazing, what should be like an amazing exploitation of the license. Whether or not it's successful or not remains to be seen, but it will be, if nothing else, an amazing exercise in exploiting intellectual property rights in one of the most undiscovered, new, interesting ways. You guys are all well aware of this. If you're following us now on Twitter and on Facebook, thank you for joining us. By the way, my name is Clifford Broadway. I'm the host, Clifford. How are you? I'm the guy who helped write and produce Ringers, Lord of the Fans, the documentary
just
film
getting
about
across that
you,
he's accomplished.
about us. And this is Hannah. She's a young filmmaker and a
Yes,
student,
I'm not as accomplished
student
as
of life. And
Cliff here, but you know what? It's okay.
what we're talking about is that, we're thankful to have you guys as our audience. Thank you for joining us on a special Thanksgiving edition of Torn Tuesday.
Yes.
And to celebrate Thanksgiving.
You
guys come on in and join us.
Oh dear.
We're open. We have food right here.
Yes, anybody in the Los Angeles
plates,
area,
napkins?
please come down to Scum and Villainy.
Ben. The show is a Friendsgiving, which is a chance for. No. But as we sit down, one of the biggest things we're obviously going to give thanks for is that we're alive. We haven't been burned down. Sean Astin and Catherine, your family. Oh my gosh, you guys! I'm glad that you're safe. Bleak House and our buddy Guillermo del Toro, who was going to bring us a Hobbit film. He's safe. Thank you for all these blessings. And however, what we're really most excited and thankful about as a group, a community of enthusiastic Tolkien fans, watch out. Amazon Studios is about to produce a 5-season epic fantasy series.
And you guys thought that
based
Fantastic Beasts and the hype around that was big.
We'll get to Fantastic Beasts in a minute.
Just wait until Amazon drops Lord of the Rings.
Amazon's going to be adapting the appendix, or the appendices, plural, that are in the back of the book, where they can cover thousands of years of amazing history and drama and some amazing characters. And they're starting off with young Aragorn as the first season to launch us as an entry point into the narrative world that they're about to explore, which would be like rather Middle-earth undiscovered.
Oh, yeah.
It's never been produced this way before because they're just from Tolkien's notes and Tolkien's appendix and all these great histories of people. So here we go, Lord of the Rings fans. We're not going to get a retread. We're not going to get a remake of the Lord of the Rings.
This is all new material in terms of film, TV licensing.
What do you think they're going to do with young Aragorn? What do you expect?
Well, first I want to say, as a professional fangirl, there are going to be tears, and I know it.
Yes, tears.
Yeah.
There will be lots of serious tears.
Many tears.
Probably when his father dies and he's a little baby orphan. Those will probably be the earliest tears. Spoilers, it was published in 1950.
Oh, I know.
1954? No, wait. The Return of the King was published probably a year and a half later, or maybe 2 years later. But anyways, hey, yeah, we're giving thanks that I guess maybe we'll give real thanks if it comes out to be a brilliant show, right?
Either way, there's going to be new Tolkien merchandise.
Either way, we're gonna have more. We're gonna have more Tolkien, more Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, and these adventures in Arda may be the replacement that will fill the vacuum on television when Game of Thrones goes off the air and it's over, and we're all starving for that next level of high drama, high romantic fantasy, really romantic fantasy, as only Tolkien can deliver. It was a $500 million deal to get that license and to get the production going.
They're not going to mess it up since they've spent so much money. They better not mess it up.
So if you're just following us and you're a brand new audience member, thanks. Welcome aboard. Love to have you. Welcome and join us. If you're following us, look at that thread pinned to the top of our Twitter feed where we break down for you some of our enthusiastic ideas. Well, my personal enthusiastic ideas about young Aragorn.
Our
and
representative here.
Hannah has even more refinement and more nuanced ideas about why young Aragorn, and even Ben, Rocker Ben, can tell us why this character is a good entry point into the world and the backcloth of before the Lord of the Rings happened. Hello, Portugal.
Whoa,
hey, we've got international people following us. 1,000 viewers. We've got 1,000 viewers. Welcome aboard. The Aragorn bump. Who's Tracy? Tracy wants to know about the what? Aragorn's mom, Gilraen. Yes. Hey.
Oh dear.
Okay. I want one of my favorite actresses from Gone Girl, and also right now, the movie that's out right now, what's it called? She was in Hostiles, and she's in a movie that's out right now. What's it called? A Private War? Oh, bless my heart. What is that? You
don't
guys,
know.
someone in the chat, tell me the name of the Rosamund Pike movie that's out right now, where she wears an eye patch. She's wearing an eye patch. I gotta see this movie. Hello, Turkey.
Oh,
Hey,
hi,
guys.
Turkey.
Hey, hello. I love it. I love Turkey.
This
I love.
is wonderful.
Speaking of,
Thank
this
you
is
all
not, no,
for
it's a little
joining
play
us.
on words, but unfortunately, even though I love the beautiful minarets and the blue mosque and Istanbul, such a gorgeous town. Istanbul was Constantinople. Now
You
it's
know that
Istanbul
song
was
too.
Constantinople. Eating Turkish delight on a moonlit night. Every
I'm
gal
not going
in
to sing with you,
Constantinople.
but I know the song.
So if you've a date in Constantinople, she's been waiting in Istanbul. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam.
This is the only person that knows that song that I
Why they
found.
changed it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way. Anyways, that's a fun song. But there was a remake of that song by They Might Be Giants in the 90s. But it's originally a Bing Crosby number from some old film. What's it from? Singing in the Rain or something? Seriously, it's from an old Bing Crosby film, I swear. Twitter, correct me if I'm wrong. YouTube fans who are following
Wow.
us, Facebook fans, I love you guys. Thank you for joining us. We have our producer off stage. He's going to shout.
Justin's Ghost.
You come and join us live and ask us what we're having.
Our
And
show's haunted.
if you're in LA, come and have Thanksgiving dinner with us right now. Look what I
Yes.
made. Did you see my video?
I did see your video.
Are you what? Of the
the
casserole?
casserole, yeah.
My green bean casserole?
It
Because this
looked
is serious.
good.
I'm getting serious now. Okay? If it's a green bean casserole to remember, then it's a green bean casserole to remember. That might be the hashtag of the night. Oh, does it? Oh my God. Can you smell that? No, please open up the lid. Yeah. Oh my
that
God.
is cheesy.
Oh, and all those French onions, those crispy French onions on top of that casserole. Did you smell that? One more time.
Yes.
One more time. Hey, who's here?
Pete.
Hey, Pete. Hey, Pete. Pete, join us. This is our good buddy, Pete. He's awesome. He's really awesome. He's been one of our original
super awesome.
original audience members from 6.5 or 7 years ago. I believe we've been doing this show live. We are the continuing focal point every week live. You guys join us every Tuesday, and we're welcome to have you guys join us because the conversation will be going far afield as we get fan speculation on what writers and directors they're going to bring on board to make this show for Amazon Studios. And me, I speculate that Rosamund Pike would be an excellent casting choice for Gilraen as the mom of Aragorn, this tiny child. She's trying to protect him and hide his identity because if any of the network of spies catches wind that there's one surviving member from the last line of the Edain,
They're going to kill that baby.
from the last line of Erindil.
They're going to kill him, dude.
I mean, wow.
Mortal Engines?
The enemy would come after that baby and kill that baby in the middle of the night, and Rosamund Pike would be the most awesome, protective mom trying to take her child to the elves and try to bridge a relationship with Elrond, half-elven, and Arwen, and all these people there in Rivendell, and broker a deal where she can secure a life for her child. I want to see Rosamund Pike in the role. I'm brilliant. I'm just saying she's brilliant. I'm so hot for the casting choices. You guys have other casting choices for who might be in the world of Middle-earth, then bring it. Say what you think should be cast for these new characters that we've never seen. Who do you want to be the twins, Eladan and Elrohir?
We've already talked about this.
No,
and
you tell me.
like,
Oh, you want to talk about Mortal Engines?
oh
well,
dear.
I just saw a teaser trailer, but I haven't heard much else.
Yeah, there's been.
Isn't Hugo Weaving in that too?
Yes, he is in that as well.
Yes, and another big franchise is starting. Okay. What's the buzz? What's the buzz on Mortal Engines? Because I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I'm out of the loop mostly on that, but from what I've seen, it's coming out December 14th.
Most of
I
the
think.
recent buzz has been for the Peter Jackson World War I,
Oh yeah. Yep.
like the structural footage recreation of original footage, digitally enhanced and restructured by Weta. That movie, They Will Not Be Forgotten, They Shall Not Be Forgotten. That's most of the focus I've been hearing. Now,
Yeah.
when the dust settles on that, Now people will start talking about mortal
Oh,
engines
yeah.
much more in the coming 2 weeks, I'm sure.
They have.
Okay. The most vital part of the story that we already know that's established in the appendix for what could be the life of Aragorn, young Aragorn, is that he is tied to the crumbling remains of the northern kingdom of Arnor. So for the first time, when George R.R. Martin builds a world and says, oh, we're talking about some kingdom that's far, far to the north, where this other family called the Starks live, and this other place called Winterfell.
You
It's
see,
far
I
away
don't
from
watch
King's
Game
Landing,
of Thrones,
right?
so I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying that
I know the names, but
well, yeah, it's
I
like
don't watch the show.
now we're going to have all the people who are familiar with Gondor and familiar with Minas Tirith in that Tolkien world are now going to have a doorway opened up to another political body, another kingdom, and we probably, with effective use of flashbacks, they can show us what happened, why the line of Numenor was sustained by the Dunedain, who became rangers, how they became rangers of the north after the crumbled, disaffected, and also battle-destroyed kingdom of Arnor. All the three kingdoms messed up and taken over by the Witch King of Angmar. Let's see how the Rangers were formed. That's one thing we know for sure that's in the books. And when you figure out how the Rangers are formed, you figure out who Aragorn's father is. Boom. That's, I think, the start of the story, establishing who the Rangers are in the north. Why Rangers in the north are even important. The reason why Rangers in the north are important is because they're the vestiges and remains of the line of the Dunedain of the northern kingdoms of Arnor that succumbed to the Witch King and to plagues and to other problems like
Just life
infighting.
in general.
Infighting. Now, Lord of the Rings shows and movies have never given us political infighting among men in the kingdoms of men.
Right.
That has strictly been the territory of Game of Thrones, where we see men squabbling and fighting with each other in disagreement about how to manage their kingdoms.
Well, I mean,
and now we have a chance to see this in Middle-earth now.
Wouldn't you say that the men of Rohan, the conflict between the men of Rohan and the men of Gondor, when they were asking for help and pleading, that could be taken political as well?
Yes.
That could be taken political.
Indeed.
Yes, and
Indeed.
then the men...
But even the political relationship between the elves of Rivendell and what was left of the Dunedain, that political relationship is going to influence whether or not Gilraen can save her baby after Arathorn dies.
Yes.
Right? Because everything's going to be about Arathorn dying in the opening of the series, and all of a sudden, I promise you, young Aragorn is going to begin with him being an orphan, with young Aragorn being an orphan. Yeah, look, oh my gosh. I guess my phone was blowing up. I didn't know it. Tell me, did you guys put water in those chafing dishes? Oh, awesome, good. You know what you're doing then. I love you guys. I'm like, oh, hey, you're on the hotline, 530-64-FRODO. Hey, you're on live with thewondering.net. Who you are, where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Ty. I'm calling from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh, well, hold on. Let me turn the volume up. Wow, hold on. Say that
All
again.
right, my name is Ty. I'm calling from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Hey, from Louisiana. How are you doing, buddy? What's your name again?
Very well. My name is Ty.
Hi, Ty. Hello there, Ty. This is Hannah.
Oh, hello,
This is
Ty.
And I'm Clifford, and there's Ben over there. People are starting to grab forks and plates. Oh, my gosh. We're getting ready to have dinner. Oh, my God. How are you, Ty? What's up tonight?
Not a baby?
Say again.
Are you sure it's a turkey and not a baby?
Are you sure it's a turkey? It's a turkey. Believe me, it's a turkey. It's a turkey, not a baby.
Oh, something like a turkey.
I've been following you guys since 2003. I love your show.
Oh, dude.
I love
Thank
the
you.
website. And I just had a quick question. What's the latest news on the TV show? I mean, I understand we're following young Aragorn, but is there any casting news or anything that us fans might not know that you guys might know?
Okay.
Any tips?
Ty, that is the best question. That is the best question of the night. It is and thank you for asking that, sir. That is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. We're taking pictures of all the food. Oh my gosh. And let me answer that, brother. And then I'm going to say thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Let me repeat your question. Ty from Louisiana, you're awesome, dude. Thank you. Thank you for calling into the OneRing.net. He asks, what else do we know about casting? What else do we know officially from Amazon Studios? Well, I'll tell you what I know. They put out one big old press release a few months ago. Justin, how many months ago? Where they announced 2 writers.
That
Two
was
writers
about
to be brought to the writing team.
in August,
Right.
In August?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that information, which is easily found on the Google machine, find it on the Google machine, you will find no information, 0, about casting, no information about the showrunners. That hasn't happened yet either. We don't know who's going to be directing. We don't know what they have up their sleeve yet.
Hire me.
We do understand in the press release that they licensed and paid for elements of Middle-earth that Peter Jackson and New Line Cinema already have under their belt.
So we could be seeing some new footage from the Jackson age as
Yep.
well.
Unused footage. That
But you didn't
literally
hear it from
means
me.
the world of Middle-earth, its costumes, its looks, its weapons, its designs of culture and architecture created by Weta. They licensed and paid for that, and that is why Amazon paid so much money for that bloody license. They want it to look and feel and smell like Middle-earth. Like this Thanksgiving dinner that is in front of me looks and feels and definitely smells like a Middle-earth Hobbity feast. Are we ready to carve? So I love your question, Ty, but to answer the audience, we're going to tell you as soon as we find out. Believe me, you come to the OneRing.net, we will reveal the dirt and the details. Even latent gossip. We'll give you everything we know whenever we can get gossip about
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Don't
But
worry, we'll be your
don't know.
gossip 411.
Yes. And if you guys hear of any whispers in the wind, send an email to the following address, spymaster@theonering.net. Again, SPYMASTER, Spymaster. If you're out there in Hollywood, if you're an artist or a contractor who wants to break their non-disclosure agreement and send us any secret information, send it to spymaster@theonering.net. The next question live from the chat, will Peter Jackson have anything to do with it? Evidently, he's declined.
From what we know.
From what we know so far.
Yes, so has Andy Serkis
Andy
as well.
Serkis has been in the news saying they've declined to be involved.
I would theorize that both of them, especially Peter, may be a little burnt out. Especially after the stress that Peter Jackson went through making the Hobbit trilogy. Please carve. I'm going to keep the show going while you carve. We're all waiting on you.
Keep the show going. Everyone, this is that part of the
but
painting,
as-
the Norman Rockwell painting, where they're all waiting on me to
As
carve
you
it.
already know, as I'm sure many
Thank
people watching
you.
this already know, Peter Jackson went through hell making those Hobbit films. He got an
Oh, yeah.
ulcer. He had to be hospitalized. I think he may feel that he has done all the Tolkien he needs to personally do.
Yes, that definitely took a toll on his health and his mental well-being.
And his
and-
family.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's heavy just to make a film.
Oh, yeah.
But to make the whole world that he did, I mean, my God, I can't
Yeah.
imagine the stress that man was under.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and here we go.
Here we are.
The maiden cut.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking off a drumstick. There we go. And this woman right here needs to come up and stand in front of the
Mom,
camera.
come here.
This beautiful goddess who made all of this food and who also gets first dibs.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you
Don't-
do.
Stop with the modesty. This
My
woman
mom
made
is
all of
very,
this food.
very modest.
Yes, Letitia, don't be shy. Oh, okay. You're cooking so much, you're sick of the food by now. I'm sure. Well, I would love a drumstick because who doesn't?
Yes.
But seriously, what does Letitia want? Also feel like it'd be a bit much for one person to have a whole drumstick.
Unless you're a dwarf.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
Well, that's very nice. Did anybody else want this though?
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Cool. I'm going to set this mic down and add the rest of what I need to this plate.
Yes.
And
This is a tiny fork. A very, very tiny fork. Here we go.
There we go. Guys, dead air. Keep talking to the audience.
Hey, you're talking.
Nobody put a microphone in front of me. I'm busy carving the turkey.
All right. Yes, I am. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I can't really talk about Crimes of Grindelwald without giving any spoilers away.
Can you?
As
Wait, Ted, I want to know. What did you think of the ending of Crimes of Grindelwald? Thumbs up? Thumbs down?
I got some feelings. I got some feelings about that.
Thumbs down. Did you see it yet,
I got
Caroline?
some feelings.
I did.
You did?
I did. I have a definite opinion about that.
Thumbs down
Huh?
or thumbs up?
The
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
The movie's a mess.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
I also saw Crimes of Grindelwald with Clifford, and I kind of have to agree. It was sort of the political, socio-economic
You agree
Harry
with
Potter
him.
film.
Why?
I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a complete mess. I just found it a little convoluted, but at the same time, I kind of appreciated that the filmmakers realized that the people who started with that first film are now adults.
Yep.
And they wanted to make a more adult movie for
Right.
an audience that has grown up a lot since this franchise started.
That's fair. That's
That's true.
So I
That's
really
fair, that's
appreciated
fair.
that. But there were parts where it got a little too dialogue heavy and it did drag. And I got to say my number one complaint, and we don't want to do spoilers here.
No spoilers.
So I
We're
will
a
just say
spoiler-free zone.
vaguely, there is a special effect that is part of the climactic scene it looked very cheap. I think you know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about. It
pretty
involves
sure
the
I know
colors
what-
blue and
Yep.
red and pretty much nothing else.
Blue and orange.
Yeah.
Orange. That I am
I mean-
excited about.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I've even heard it said that they
Yeah.
may have missed the ball
Yeah.
by doing the It remake as a 2-film thing when they could have made like a 20-episode Netflix series out of it and really explored that book,
Oh, yeah.
which is over 1,000 pages long. But
Certain
I'm
things
really
I am
excited
glad
about
that
it.
they did not explore in that book.
Sorry, what?
Certain things I am glad that they did
Yeah,
not.
there are certain things that
Yeah.
even that you absolutely can't explore in the
Yep.
book. I know what you're talking about. But
yeah.
back to Crimes of Grindelwald. There were things about it I liked, but it was convoluted.
Oh, yeah.
It did drag, and it seemed like at that climactic scene I was mentioning, they may have run out of money.
Yeah, it seemed
It
very
just-
rushed.
Because there was
very
there was a
rushed.
specific creature
Uh-huh.
that I'm not even going to say what the creature is,
Yep.
but you know what it is. One of the big ones. It looked amazing, didn't it?
Yes.
It looked beautiful. It was wonderful. Clearly, that's where
Gorgeous.
the budget went. And when they got to this big climax towards the end, it was like, hey guys, we're running out of time and money. Finish it up. I
Yeah.
could just see that happening on screen, and that really bothered me.
But how can? Wait, hold on. But they've got 5 films in the whole series, and this is only 2 out of 5.
It's not a very good movie. As somebody who's a Harry Potter fan and as somebody who's not going to give away spoilers, I can say this. J.K. Rowling wrote it. She needs to stick to her own story in the context in which she puts her stories. Because it... Yeah. Yep. Without saying anything else. Yeah.
The audience didn't hear what Justin said.
No, but like...
Repeat what Justin said. They didn't hear it.
Justin, our lovely producer, said that she ruined Nagini, the character of Nagini. I do agree, but I do kind of like what she did with Nagini, but she just kind of tossed that character in the trash. It was like, oh, okay, this is cool.
It was the
never mind.
episode 1 of the Harry Potter universe.
It was. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. No. No, it is not better
it
than
is not
Battle
better
of
than
the
Battle of
Five
Five Armies.
No, but you see, the thing is, where Jackson adds on to Battle of the Five Armies, I'm trying to think how to phrase this without giving away a bunch of spoilers. He sticks to the lore of Tolkien, but J.K. Rowling doesn't even stick to her own lore that she wrote in the first place. She switches everything around for her own, what's the word? For the
personal retcon.
Yes, thank you.
Is it fan service? Her own personal fan service that may have gone too far?
It's not even fan service. it's just taking things out of context and making them work for a Pacific film, even though you've rooted your history already, and everyone's like, wait a second.
Hey, happy
hold on.
Friendsgiving, everybody.
Yes, as I complain about Harry Potter on a Lord of the Rings show. Oh.
That's right.
Man flesh.
Huzzah.
Yeah. The funny thing is, why would an orc, I've always wanted to know, why would an orc know anything about a menu? Why would goblins and orcs
Hey,
make
now
an
wait a
analogy
second.
and
That's
make
a
a joke
little
about
racist.
meats back on the menu? What do orcs know about menus or sitting in restaurants? Have you figured that out,
Cliff,
sir?
you're being racist.
They never.
The conundrum.
I have no idea.
See, exactly. Neither do we. Exactly. Neither do we. You guys were serving Thanksgiving dinner, and everyone is welcome. Welcome aboard.
Yes, everybody's
And
welcome.
wait, hold on. This hasn't even been revealed and
Oh.
served. Hold on. Hey, what's this? This is
What is
Clifford. This is the Broadway family recipe
Ooh.
of our own green bean casserole. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. I guess it's not that hot. Homemade.
I'm a bass player. I have leather fingers.
That's right. He's a bass player who can play electricity on fire with his hands. This is amazing, guys. And so here we are at Scum and Villainy Cantina. Y'all are welcome to join us. Wow. Look at all these
Yes.
nice folks. Come here. Letitia, you're amazing. Come here.
Yes, come
Yes,
here.
come here. On
Mom.
camera, Letitia. Come here.
Mom.
Come here.
Mom.
Come here. Come here, babe.
Mom.
Come on. Are you sure? Come on.
As we wait for my
All right.
mom, we got
Please.
turkey, we got green bean
I'm
casserole,
gonna tell you.
we got cranberry sauce, we got pumpkin pie,
Oh my gosh.
some cool whip, some
Cool
stuffing.
whip. Did you say whip?
Whip.
Did you say cool whip?
It's whip. Thank you very much.
we have. Oh my gosh.
We got stuffing, we got mashed potatoes,
Oh my
boil and mash them, stick
gosh.
them in a stew.
Is this stuffing?
Yes.
Homemade stuffing?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you have delicious homemade. There's olives in this stuffing recipe. In this recipe we have mushrooms, French onions, cream of mushroom soup, and
take
two
some
different
of
types of cheeses, Parmesan and some other cheeses, including pepper jack, and lots of garlic powder.
You
lots
had
of
me
garlic.
at pepper jack.
We've got rolls. What's happening over here? Is this the sweet potatoes? Oh my gosh, mashed potatoes, sweet potato. Samwise tried to explain to Gollum exactly what they were. Say it with me.
Boil and mash them, stick them in a stew, boy.
What's taters, precious? What's taters, eh?
Don't ever do that again.
What's taters, precious? And Samwise's response is, potatoes, boil them. We could, yes. Yes, we could. See, you guys, welcome. It's Friendsgiving. You are live on the air with the OneRing.net, all the fans of Middle-earth and the Lord of the Rings fans. We're going a little bit tipsy and crazy these days because
Yes.
Amazon decided to spend $500 million on our favorite franchise. And they're going to come roaring to life. And you guys are watching us live on YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Facebook Live, on the Twatter book, and everybody's out there. Well, thank you for joining us live. But in answer to your questions, we don't know enough yet about casting. We don't know anything yet about their plans to bring new actors on board or to have other actors return to play familiar roles. We don't even know yet. So speculate, my dear. Speculate on that. To what degree should they go far afield and bring in a whole bunch of newbies, or should they deliberately bring back Sir Ian
Rangers.
McKellen? You guys,
Oh no, they need Sir Ian McKellen.
possibility
yeah, you get it. Yeah,
is-
exactly.
are they going to bring back Kate
The only one that
Blanchett?
can do it. There's no recasting. It's not possible.
There's
'Cause
no
they make him
recasting.
like a billion years younger.
Exactly.
Then it's not really. It's not.
Right?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Unfortunately, they might have to do recasting for Saruman.
Yes.
That might be an unfortunate truth of it.
No.
Yeah.
They scanned his face digitally.
Oh,
So they could do that too.
no.
You mean they could do the Grand Moff,
Grandma talking thing.
the Tarkin, the
Oh,
whole
no.
whole Grand Moff Tarkin thing?
And how can we forget Leia as well?
I loved the some people haven't even seen Rogue One yet, have they?
You know what?
No, Rogue One is the best. It's seriously the best.
That's debatable.
Okay, Solo is deliciously fun. Fun for all the
I
family.
haven't even
I love
seen
Solo.
Solo,
Solo's
but
very fun too.
my
But given a
my
choice,
opinions on Rogue One are firm.
I'll take the grim sacrifice of Rogue One and the nobility and that striking message of hope when Leia is there in the final shot of the film. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. I love it, I love it, I love it. Spoilers. Sorry, baby. Hey.
The mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
They're in here. Here.
Inside. The mushrooms are inside the green bean casserole where they belong.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what? Remember Christopher Lee saying it's his continuous consumption of mushrooms. He's always complaining about Radagast at the White Council meeting. All right, you guys talk about how far afield Amazon can risk going while I fill up my plate with Hobbity goodness.
Ooh.
Caroline? As opposed to new actors or bringing back old actors.
Well, I think in regards for the Rangers, they should definitely bring in new actors and explore new characters because we don't know that much about the Rangers.
Right, because I think maybe bring in a new. Wait, is this on?
Yeah, it's on. You just have to hold it like really, really close. Yeah.
Real close into it, real hard. Yeah. In other words, eat the mic.
Tingles.
Well, I think bringing in new actors will definitely bring in new platforms too, because I know I don't know if I should get into this or not, but you know how like in other franchises like DC, Marvel, when we're bringing in like new Spider-Mans, new actors, or new DC for like Telltale Batman, other stuff. I think gain a wide variety of new actors would be good. You know, just for more experience. And also, what was the other question? I lost track of the other question for all this good food.
Oh, no, it's fine. I'm like half functioning right now. No, just like fan speculation, you know, like in terms of like, I guess, bringing in new actors, you know, for characters that we know but we haven't seen on screen. Like I've heard a lot of people saying we should get the Sprout twins to play Eladin and Elrofir. I'm kind of on board with that. They're Tolkien fans. At least Dylan is.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being adventurous with hiring new actors, new explorations.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm open to that. So what do you think, Justin?
The first question that we have in the chat room right now is, guess what percentage of people, how old should young Aragorn be? Should it be child and mother on the run, or should it be angsty young teen?
Ooh, because those two are totally different.
First off, what do you think the chat room is saying right now?
I'm probably going to say angsty teenager, knowing
62%, yes.
Ah, I was right.
What do you guys want?
I want food too.
Honestly, they better not start him as an angsty teenager. No, guys, come on, think about it. The show
is for everyone.
Start with him. Look, all right. The point is that the Jungle Book is never told when Mowgli is just an angsty teenager. You start with him as a little boy surviving a terrifying, catastrophic fire, and the animals of the jungle rescue him, and you empathize with him as a young boy. What happens to Aragorn as a young boy is not something you're just going to skip over. You're not going to launch a $500 million franchise and not have some empathy for this mom, Gilraen, who has to survive in the wilderness and make sure that her baby doesn't get its throat slit by goblins in the middle of the night because it's the last descendant of Numenor living in the north. Are you kidding me? Dude, rant off. Start the show with baby Aragorn. This far, no further. Patrick Stewart out.
Some casserole?
Yes, I want some casserole. Yes, I do. Do you know what? I deserve some casserole. Now I do. Follow up with me, Ben. Come on, Ben. Bring it.
Yes, Clifford's blood sugar is low. You'll have to forgive him. Just start eating, my friend.
Okay. So what?
And I think the blowback against what you're like, I get what you're saying and I agree with it, but the industry may have learned their lesson with episode 1 and go, we are not having a little kid version of a main badass character ever again.
That's legit. That's
they
also
might
a legit.
look at it from that perspective and go, we're starting at like 15 or something like that.
Gale Rayan.
Right.
And then work its way up to Aragorn.
All right, guys. Also, it is structurally sound from a storytelling perspective for a young Aragorn season to start with him being of a certain, Timothée Chalamet type of age range. Maybe that would suit the audience better. But then they can do flashbacks. They can always give us good flashbacks to what happened when he was a baby. But they do need to bring that element in early on, because I'm telling you, use the Jungle Book as another narrative marker for how you relate to a struggling child in need, separated from his parents. Yeah, what about Andy Serkis's Jungle Book? Oh, Mowgli, his movie is not even called that. Andy Serkis's film wants to distinguish itself from the Disney product. It's called Mowgli. My argument is proven wrong by Andy Serkis himself. Justin, have some turkey, please. Have some turkey.
You are what you eat.
What do you think, Hannah? All right, what do you guys think? I'm going to actually get some food and start eating.
I think
and
the food's
welcome
good.
aboard. If you guys are in Los Angeles, come on over. You guys, don't be shy. We got food. It's Friendsgiving. For those of us who don't get to travel back home to, their home state and hometown to see their family, you guys are my family.
Yes,
and I
you're
love
my
having you
family
guys here.
too.
Thank you. Aw, sugar. I need an insulin shot now.
Oh.
No, you guys do the talking now about young Aragorn. Where are you going to go with that?
Here he comes. Hi,
We
Justin.
didn't think through the whole hosting a show while we're eating. But
That's true.
I wanted to give some updates. Andy Serkis's second feature film directorial effort is a Netflix film, but it is the first Hollywood movie to premiere in India.
Oh, wow.
So the world premiere of Andy Serkis's Mowgli will be in India, which is really, really exciting to see a Hollywood movie. But as far as we know, Peter Jackson is not involved in the Amazon series. He doesn't want to be involved, and he feels like he's told the story he wanted to tell, and he doesn't get any better than that. And I think we all agree that that's true. So
It's totally fair. That's very fair.
I have been told to cut the pumpkin pie.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, it is a very Hobbity Thanksgiving here in the Americas. So we thought we'd get all the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings fans that we could assemble here at the Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood. And we've got turkey and stuffing and roast mutton and green bean casserole and pumpkin pie. And we've got a bowl full of cranberries right here.
And we have a microphone we can pass around the room so people can share their thoughts on the Lord of the Rings.
So everyone's eating. So
And because
no one
everyone's
wants
eating,
to
we
talk
need to
while
fill the
they-
time with our guests.
We have cool whip.
Cool
And then
whip.
we have
Oh.
bread and stuffing and
And-
double dose of potatoes. We have the most potatoes of any food.
We have
Correct.
mashed potatoes, and sweet potatoes, and Clifford Broadway's unique family recipe of the green bean casserole to remember.
Courtesy.
Oh my gosh.
And that's where the mushrooms are hiding. Yes, we have
You know,
mushrooms.
I need to stop pitching the
and
damn casserole. I need to
the
stop.
mushrooms are hiding in the casserole, as all the good things usually do.
Yes.
So we're really excited to be here at Scum and Villainy Cantina, and they've been so generous with their space and their time hosting the OneRing.net as we we've been doing this show for about 7 years now, over 350 episodes, which makes us one of the longest running continuous podcasts. And the only reason we're still going is because you guys at home watch every week. And it's just so wonderful that you could be here with us and participate in these festivities. I am actively choosing not to eat so all the fans at home can identify with me. I basically represent everybody at home who can't smell this food, who can't taste the
We don't have
yumminess of your green
smell-o-vision
bean.
yet.
You what?
We don't have smell-o-vision yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It
it's
will
coming
come.
soon.
Yeah. So, but you can text the hotline 530-64-FRODO. We're getting messages from the hotline. The first question is, what do you think about starting off with Arathorn before featuring a young Aragorn. So tell the whole story of the lineage of the direct lineage of Aragorn, and so his father Arathorn, and why Aragorn feels nervous about ascending the throne. Like, that must come directly from his father, not just the tales of old and his forefathers, but, you know, a father's direct relation with his son influences the decisions the sons make. So as far as the chat room saying they want an angsty teen age version of Aragorn, to Cliff's point, I think the story is better served if we start off earlier than that. Like, let's start off with Aragorn and his wife, and the conception of Aragorn and the death of Arathorn, and then going into hiding. And basically, it's a mother on the run, trying to hide her son from the orcs and the evils.
But why are there so few of the Dunedain left? Why are there so few
So that
of
can be
Arathorn and his men left? That backstory is rich and textured, and they can get
that story can
they
be
can get some
told
juicy
as a
flashbacks.
story.
They can get
That-
flashbacks out of that.
Keep eating your food.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying that they can actually tell all of these backstories through the pub. Like, Aragorn could be an angsty young teen at the pub, and, you know, meeting people at the pub every week. And
Hey, we don't
they
on
start
this
telling
show.
them
We
story.
don't encourage underage drinking. Okay.
Well, in Middle Earth, there are no age limits on anything.
What about coming of age for the hobbits?
What
How
about
about that?
What about them? How
Coming
old
of
are
age.
Merry and Pippin?
Merry is 36 and Pippin is 28.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I know Pippin for a fact.
they're
Because
hanging out with
28 is my
the
favorite number.
Frodo, the 50-year-old. So,
He's an old man.
age is just a number in Middle Earth.
Hey, you know what? Only creepy people say that.
So what else do we have on the hotline? We've got more things. Hey, Cliff.
That's what happens
if
when I go silent.
listen,
the whole show
listen.
derails. As soon as I eat my food and go silent, you guys derail
You've
the
gone
show.
On so many rants. You've gone on so many rants. Look, we got a message from the hotline. Hey, Cliff, what if we saw a glimpse of Arathorn II? What do you think? Who do you think would play him? I would prefer Chris Pine.
Oh, no.
Because he was super in The Outlaw King as Robert the Bruce. So there's a new Netflix show. I think it's Netflix, not Amazon.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It's a movie, not a
It's
show.
it's a movie. Oh, I thought it was a show.
No.
So there's a new movie on Netflix called Outlaw King. Wait, is that the one where they, like, Chris Pine, like, bears all? There was a lot of internet chatter about Chris Pine. So we've got someone on the hotline saying Chris Pine's performance in Outlaw King makes him a good choice for Arathorn II. Hey, Cliff, how old was Arathorn when he died? He was a young guy, right? He didn't live to see command the throne for very long, did he?
No.
Liam Cunningham from Game of Thrones, the guy who plays Sir Davos, I would like to see him play Arathorn.
He's too old.
No, not necessarily. Maybe not.
Huh.
I think he'd be awesome, actually.
I just want David Tennant.
I really
David
do.
Tennant as Arathorn?
No.
You want
In
David
it.
Tennant somewhere.
David
in there.
Tennant would be a man of the North. I think David Tennant would be a good man of the North. A whole race of people that we haven't met yet. People are taking selfies.
Also
with
someone
our
else that I want
Hobbity
to consider.
Thanksgiving here.
Yes, please do.
And
It's
he
fantastic.
keeps tape over his camera on his phone. He has no trust in
Believe it.
Facebook or Apple or Google or anything. He keeps tape on everything.
Trust no one, suspect everyone. Mic drop.
There's another actor from Game of Thrones
That's what Aragorn does. Trust no one.
who I would love to have.
Suspect everyone.
Is that Aragorn in hiding?
Hold on, let me find it.
That's one way to do it. Hey guys, let's get some more questions here on the hotline. 530-64-FRODO. That's really our phone number. 530-64-FRODO. It should be scrolling above our heads. You can text the hotline.
That's right.
And ask questions. Let's jump in the chat room real quick.
Pylu Asbeck, who plays Euron Greyjoy. If you want Arathorn to be played by someone younger.
Euron Greyjoy?
Euron Greyjoy.
I don't want anyone
could
from
be,
Game of Thrones anywhere near Tolkien.
I think because he wouldn't be a large part. He'd only be in it for a couple of episodes.
Pippin was not of age when he was drinking. According to the chat room, Pippin wasn't of age when he drank.
You mean but hobbits come of age at the age of 30. That's why.
Well, there you go.
In the culture of the hobbits in the Shire, hobbits come of age at 30.
David
right?
Tennant would be a dwarf. Pete Richard in the chat room says Tennant would be a dwarf because of his accent. He is too old to play young Aragorn. I agree. I like Riz Ahmed as a young Aragorn.
I would love Riz Ahmed as a young Aragorn. That would be awesome. But it's very different than a Timothée Chalamet type of casting, which they might go for. You never know.
If we're talking about a young Aragorn, I'm sorry, a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and I know that they've disagreed with me. I want Dave Patel as young Aragorn.
Who?
Dave Patel.
Isn't it Dev Patel? Dave? Dave is such an American version.
Dev Patel, I'm sorry.
Dev Patel, who shared a boat with a tiger for an entire movie and bankrupted the studio after winning the Oscar, right? I forget that movie. Yeah, he would be good. Dev Patel.
He would be good.
As young Aragorn. Put the long hair. Hey, I was having a conversation with people, some friends the other day. Lord of the Rings might have the best wig game in Hollywood.
Yes.
At no point in Lord of the Rings, in any of the movies, did I think that anyone was wearing a wig. See, because Viggo Mortensen is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Danish guy who grew up in Argentina. He doesn't have long, flowing, curly locks. That is not his real hair. And you've seen all the behind-the-scenes photos of all the hobbits. They all have mohawks and buzz cuts because they all wore wigs. So all the hobbit hair was a wig. Aragorn was a wig. Legolas was a wig. Like, the hair game...
Remember Orlando's famous mohawk?
So if we're being thankful for things for Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for the wig artists at Weta, because a bad wig ruins a cosplay and a bad wig ruins a movie.
Does. Oh yeah, as cosplayers, we can attest to that.
Yeah, because when I did a wig dyeing before, and that is just, oh my god, it's a hair pull. It's just horrible, a nightmare, because like if you're off by like 1 minute or like a few seconds, it'll shift the color like to a different shade completely, and it's a trial and error. But if you want the right, I'm sorry.
Totally.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're
to
totally
say,
on point.
all.
And also, it's not. And then that's in the making of the wig. But wearing the wig, like if you get a bad, if it's a good photo, but the wig's like off.
Mm-hmm. And
you
you'll
throw
see
away
like
the
this
photo.
hairline of like your real natural hair, and then you see like the wig cap, and then not until later you're like, oh, dang it.
Imagine all of the action those actors have to go through in Lord of the Rings, and their wigs never fall.
I think there was one. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but there was one part in the not deleted scenes where Andy Serkis pulls back Sean Astin and his wig like falls off. I'm pretty sure it's when they're like trying to go into the Black Gates, and then Gollum's like no, and like pulls him back.
So guys, as you're watching a Lord of the Rings marathon for Thanksgiving weekend while your dad's watching football in the other room, pay attention to the wigs. Like I'm telling you, the Lord of the Rings might have the best wigs ever in a movie of this size and caliber. We've got another question.
But not the
on
best
hotline.
contact lenses.
There's a lot of movies with
There's
good
a
contact
spot
lenses.
in Helm's Deep where Legolas has those contact lenses going, and you're like, oh god, look at those.
Yeah. We got another thing on the hotline. Thank you for texting us. Again, the phone number's scrolling right above our heads, so feel free to text us. I think, from the hotline, I think Sebastian Stan would make a good young Aragorn.
Yeah, he would.
We've
can
said
see
this
that.
many times. Unfortunately, Star Wars fandom has claimed Sebastian Stan for young Luke Skywalker. I'm sorry. They said he's off limits.
The Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier.
Star Wars fans have claimed him as their next Luke Skywalker.
Ooh.
So, but he would be a great Aragorn. In fact, how many people would sign up for Amazon if they hired Sebastian Stan?
I already have Amazon, so.
Oh, privileged class here.
Oh.
When speaking as panelists at the LA Moot, which was a scholarly conference that just happened,
yeah, LA Moot.
Right,
That was
LA
an
Moot.
amazing event.
It was an amazing
Very
event.
scholarly.
And the OneRing.net was very proud to be asked to be part of the mischief. And then when they said, "Come here, brother, have some of this. Please have some of this. It's so good." They Thanksgiving. Listen to this. I asked a room full of scholars, Tolkien scholars and academics, would you guys spend money for a brand new Amazon Prime membership? And they all looked at me in the room and they said, "What? We already are members of Amazon Primes."
Everyone in the room.
Everyone in the room.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. But what they're counting on to make this work for them is getting new subscribers. Hey.
Yeah.
Taking a snapshot.
Absolutely.
You're right. If that business model for
we
Amazon.
We have not talked. I don't. This is a good question from the
Microphone's dead.
From the hotline. Thank you for bringing this up. I don't think we have mentioned it at all, Cliff, in any of our episodes. What do you guys think about storylines that will involve young Theoden?
Yes. Yes, young Theoden would be awesome.
Theoden, King of Rohan of the Horse Lords. He loses his son on the battlefield while he's under the spell of Saruman. Correct?
Yes, that's right.
just going to say, he's the king who's under the spell.
Yeah.
And Theoden is healed.
Brad Dourif is playing
And
Wormtongue.
Yeah,
Brad Dourif as
Brad Dourif
Wormtongue.
is playing his evil snake-tongued assistant who's
He-
keeping him.
He-
Wormtongue, that's right.
He was the captain of the Titanic when it went down.
Oh, yeah,
But young
that's the same actor.
Theoden would be a really interesting, and they could get Bernard Hill, or they could cast it younger and get another young angsty actor to play the son. I just like the idea of
I would love
angsty
to see-
Aragorn and with an angsty young Theoden.
And I would love to see that character be put under the spell by Sauron and like
How does
actually
this
see his fall from grace.
And how does it happen gradually?
Saruman, sorry. And then Wormtongue comes in and starts whispering in his ear. Like, I'd love to see that setup because we only see the payoff at the end of that whole story.
You know, that brings up a good point.
That's a great point.
I think
Thank you guys. Good night. Happy Thanksgiving.
I think one of the main problems that all Hollywood movies have been doing lately is that they deal with something that we know happens through a passage of time, and they deal with it instantaneously. And it would be a poor decision on Amazon's part to show King Theoden go from regular Theoden into the old gray hair
Tell the world.
under the spell of Saruman. So I like that should
Cliff's casserole is delicious, by the way.
Of course.
No, wait.
So
Euron Greyjoy can play young Theoden. That'd be cool.
That would be good.
That'd be cool, huh?
But it would be a mistake to basically in one episode turn Theoden and instantly he's like old and gray. I think this is like a gradual thing. If they go into that storyline, that they can tell it over multiple seasons. And the example I give is X-Men Apocalypse, when Professor X has a full head of hair.
X-Men hair origins.
Oh yeah, it's
X-Men.
Yeah, they basically.
That's funny.
Instead of showing a gradual baldness in Professor X, they shoehorn this idea of he loses all of his hair in one magical sweeping motion.
Bro, don't even get me started on
that
how
should not-
atrociously they destroyed the X-Men with those movies.
They shouldn't.
It was shameful. One of Apocalypse's powers is costume design, apparently. There's a whole scene of him like making a shoulder piece for Archangel or somebody. Like, yeah, I guess so. I appreciated that they put an actor in physical makeup for Apocalypse, but they wrecked that story.
So learn
Yeah.
those. I hope Amazon learns those lessons and don't do that.
Just don't hire Bryan Singer. He should be, well, he should be getting comeuppance for a lot of things, but we won't get into it. But open secrets, everyone, open secrets.
Oh boy.
But no, as I'm sure you're commenting on with Professor
Yeah,
X
but there's been
losing his hair, that
In one fell swoop, like
that's
like
supposed
show
to
it-
happen gradually over
It
time.
happens gradually.
Just like him losing his ability to walk is a side effect of his mutant power, not him getting shot in the spine with a bullet. That was ridiculous. He loses his legs because his mind is his power and it takes over his body.
Yeah.
That's his everything is his telepathy and his telekinesis. That's why he loses his legs. He loses his hair because he gets old and it goes over time. Like it's not everything was wrecked.
It happens
in those
over
movies.
time.
Yeah.
When you get into Fellowship of the Ring and Aragorn fights a horde of Nazgul on the mountaintop, and
Thank you again to Letitia.
You
She
realize that
made all this. That's all her.
You realize that Aragorn has learned these skills over many, many years. Like this is he didn't just go through a training session. This is what I don't want. Like a training session on how to fight a Nazgul, and now Aragorn knows how to fight a Nazgul.
And how ironic that the big fight scene with the Nazguls in the original Fellowship of the Ring was Viggo Mortensen's first day of shooting, and he had not yet undergone fight training. So
Yeah,
if
so
you
he just throws a stick with half a
rewatch that
foot.
scene, and you'll see it's a lot of quick cuts and him swinging it like very John Wayne, just like those kind of
totally.
punches. And this isn't me ridiculing him. You know, he talks about this openly. He was cast very last minute. Was he replacing someone? Yeah. He
was replacing Stuart Townsend.
Yes, that's right. So he kind of had to show up, and they threw a sword in his hand, and were like, "Yeah, man, you're fighting these Nazguls. We got to shoot this."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everyone else had already gone through like weeks of
That's
fight
how
training.
That's how good
Viggo Mortensen
Viggo
is,
Mortensen is.
He's the man.
And his new movie Green Book is out this week.
Oh yeah, I want to
wide.
see that.
And
I haven't
yeah.
gotten to it yet.
Yeah,
Him and
so
Mahershala Ali
this week.
who is fantastic.
So go see Viggo Mortensen, who is a Danish guy who grew up in Argentina, playing a guy with a New England accent driving through the South. So this it is very outside his comfort zone. But Green Book should be in theaters this week. We got another text message.
I've seen the
saying,
previews and he sounds great.
The fall of Numenor with Elendil and Isildur and the events leading up to the Last Alliance would be cool. That is not what this show is about. The fall of Numenor and the events leading up to the Last Alliance. That's not what this show is about.
May not be about that, but they can show amazing, powerful, like
Flashbacks.
10-minute flashbacks, 15-minute flashbacks that tell
At the discretion of
major
the Tolkien
parts of the
estate.
story.
At the discretion of the Tolkien estate, who will
No,
be involved.
it's already printed in the paper of The Return of the King.
Okay.
My friends, if you're watching, open up your copy of The Return of the King.
Yes.
Look at the appendices. Numenor and the destruction of Numenor is in there. It's in there.
What about
Not
a story
fully,
with...
not as fully fleshed out
Do you
in
want to see
detail, but it's in there.
Glorfindel?
I want to say thank you very much. Thank you to the chatters who are chatting with us live on the hotline, and they said one important thing that I really wanted to say. Thank you for saying it on my behalf. Glorfindel, yes. This is a huge reservoir, an untapped, like a big time, untapped reservoir.
Like a California
of
reservoir that is like really low on the water, and they're just like...
But the amount of story,
drawing from
the amount of relationships that Glorfindel has with other A-listers in Middle-earth, Glorfindel has always been overlooked, and he's always, in every adaptation...
I thought that was a girl. Glorfindel is a
Glorfindel
girl?
is the first elf lord. He's an elf lord, one of the most powerful ones of them all from the First Age. And guess what? He's cut from every adaptation, whether it's an animation or a live action. They always remove Tom Bombadil, A, and then B, they remove Glorfindel. But and
what?
What about Goldberry, man?
Thank you.
She's waiting and waiting and waiting.
Let's bring these characters in. Let's bring them in, right?
Yeah.
So to our chatters who said, let's bring in Glorfindel, yes, please Hashtag thank you.
Glorfindel needs his own movie. He needs his own season.
Maybe.
His own season. He's not a cameo in a single episode.
Well, I'm not familiar with Glorfindel, but I'm fully aware of how silly.
Because you've never seen him.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Now I'm fully aware of how silly this is, but I would love to see what happened to the Blue Wizards, because there is but one sentence about them in all of Tolkien's writing that they walked off and nobody knows what happened to them. Blank.
Hey,
period.
Cliff.
So that means anything about them would essentially be fan fiction, but what if we got somebody really good to write what happened with the Blue Wizards? What did they do?
Hey, Cliff, will we get an answer to what Gandalf means by secret fire, wielder of the flame of Arnor? Okay, will we get an explanation of how he came to acquire the flame of Arnor or Anor? When he fights the Balrog, Gandalf says, you shall not pass. I am the wielder of I am the holder of the secret flame, wielder of the flame of Arnor, secret fire. What is that? Where is that? How did he come to acquire it? And was it hard to get? Cliff is looking that up. We've stumped the expert.
No, you didn't.
Don't even think it.
The reason why is because over at theonering.net, we had a valuable resource of exactly such Q&A, questions and answers that we had. And it's been raked over by Tolkien experts for 20 years now. And they still stand, okay? It's an academic point of discussion that has never been fully resolved, because Gandalf may have been referring to the ring of fire that had been given to him by Círdan, the shipwright, when he first
arrived.
Played
by Johnny Cash?
Keep in mind that Gandalf had particular powers with fireworks, magical fire.
Oh, he was
setting
a wizard
fire to
of fire?
pine cones. He had the ring of fire. There were
like
3
Johnny
rings.
Cash.
There was a ring of adamant and a ring of fire and a ring of something else, of those 3 elven rings.
I want a ballad of Buster Scruggs, but
You
about
didn't-
Gandalf.
Wait a minute, Justin, you never realized that Gandalf had special power over fire and fireworks?
I didn't know he was a wizard of fire.
Because he had the ring, the red ring that was given to him, one of the 3 of the rings of power, and that is how they have telekinesis between each other. Gandalf, Elrond, and Galadriel can read each other's minds and talk to each other through the power of the 3 rings of the elves. Don't tell me I'm looking it up. Buddy, I'm just telling you that the conversation about will we find out...
So is that the flame of Arnor? Is that the secret
maybe.
fire?
It is unknown. It is still not entirely clear.
So Amazon can really come up with a lot of stuff that is not canon.
Professor Tolkien may have been describing some other unknown, reference to something.
Hey, what is the Battle of Greenfields?
The Battle of Greenfields? That happened when, in the Shire, one of the few military excursions that Tolkien writes about where the hobbits...
Wait, what?
The hobbits themselves had to defend their lands.
The hobbits go to war?
The hobbits go to... Well, no, the war was brought to them, and the orcs came to them in the Battle of Greenfields.
When was this?
When was this?
Is this after Saruman gets kicked out of Isengard? Or is this before the events?
What? When was Sauron was never in Isengard.
Saruman. When was the Battle of Greenfields take place? And do we want to see warmongering hobbits? I think that would be a retcon that fans would not be happy with.
You're so funny. Not a retcon.
How about when they invented golf? Remember when the hobbits invented golf? Hey, Billy Joe Baines in the chat room is watching from the UK. She said it's 2:18 in the morning there. Thank you for watching. She says, or he says, my last opinion in the new TV series, I think it would be good to see more of Shelob the spider. Do we want to see...
Oh, I second that.
Yeah? Why?
I'm a big horror fan, and Shelob the spider, all those sequences, along with the haunted forest that makes everyone go crazy. What's that called?
Mirkwood.
The Mirkwood. There you go, formerly known as the Greenwood. Those two are two of the stronger horror elements of the Tolkien world. So if
How do
someone
you
wants
do
to
a
bring
whole
back the giant
episode-
spiders, that's great.
How do you do a whole episode about spiders without giving Shelob a voice and basically
I don't
ruining
think you could do
Lord
a
of the
whole
Rings?
episode. I think it'd have to be a part of a journey.
Does Shelob talk?
First of all, I'm going to say, hell no, they better not do that. As somebody who's a really big arachnophobe, I don't think so. I don't think so. But if they are...
You don't want her to talk, or you don't want an episode of Shelob, period?
I just don't want no spiders. I don't want any spiders. It would be cool to hear her talk, but no spiders. No,
What if
none.
Grashnak and Lurtz were like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, just
You're
kind of
hilarious.
always there?
Don't you understand that Peter Jackson himself is the biggest arachnophobe of them all? And that is why he put so much apparent care into frightening the living bejesus out of us with all the spider stuff.
Hey, how about Beornings? Were there more of the Beorn
I want
people?
I want to learn more about the people of Beorn, the skin changers who can change from a human into
That's
a
kind
bear.
of a gladiator story, isn't
I'm
it?
so down to learn more about that.
Yeah, I second that.
It's
the
like
shape
Gladiator.
shifting.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
Oh no, I was great.
Do you want the shape-shifting? Caroline, do you want the shape-shifting?
Yeah, I mean we only know about Beorn from like the Hobbit series. I think it depends though, right? I mean, the only one I know and I'm familiar with is just Beorn from the book, from the Hobbit, and from the films. But if they have like a story of like just a lineage of like Beorn's people, that'd be interesting.
The question was, is it just bears that race turns into, or do they also turn into other animals? I'm sure Cliff would know.
Cliff, are Beornings just bear shifters, or do they change into other animals?
Just bears, from what I know.
Okay,
There
but
are not.
It's not fully explained in the canon, so there is room for more.
No, well, Professor Tolkien didn't really give us like examples of lycanthropy or werewolfism, except in one instance, in the time of the Silmarillion, where Sauron himself takes on the form of a werewolf. That's a very specific instance. But when we're talking about the skin changers and the Beornings, I think that we're just talking about bears only. Ursine, isn't that the Latin word, ursine? Bears, is that correct?
Yes.
But yeah, no, Tolkien says that, like, he has vampires and werewolves in his mythology as well. Whether or not maybe werewolves are another branch of the skin changers, that could be it as well. I would really, 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 really like to see a skin changer or maybe a werewolf
Cliff,
in the new series. So.
Cliff, this is a big one that keeps coming up. We famously, the Lord of the Rings movies cannot touch the Blue Wizards. They was out of license. Do you believe that the Tolkien estate will allow stories of the Blue Wizards in this TV show?
I do believe that the possibility is now open. There are new possibilities that open up that doorway, because if the Tolkien estate, which is very closely in relationship now with Amazon Studios, if they like what they see, and if the results are very good, then they might expand. Brother, you look fantastic. How you doing, man? They might actually expand the license to include, I've got to have some more of this cranberry sauce. You guys, the turkey is amazing, Letitia. The cranberry sauce is nuts. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's so delicious. And I can tell how popular my green bean casserole is by how quickly it's disappearing. But to tell you the truth, the idea of getting to see the background of Minas Morgul and how originally it was the Tower of Minas Ithil. Now, that came in on the live hotline. Thank you for everybody, to the live audience. We acknowledge you. We see you, and thank you for sending all your messages and calling in on 530-64-FRODO. And yeah, I would love to see a specific story told about how Gondor tried to set a guard on the mountains of Shadow, on the western borders of Mordor, and their miserable failed attempt, at a beautiful, beautiful fortress tower, Minas Ithil, and how it ultimately became the Tower of Terror.
How does that
the evil
happen?
Minas Morgul.
Is it
in
like
in
the
addition to
Saruman?
seeing all these other backgrounds of young Theoden, early relationships with Rohan, young Aragorn, early relationships with Rivendell.
We've kind of already
All this
seen
stuff.
that
It's
happen
all in here.
when Isengard turns evil. We've already seen how Saruman the Wise suddenly chooses the other side, and now and we see the destruction of the green lands of Isengard into the war factory that's tearing down all the trees. So we've actually seen a tower turn from good to evil. So this would kind of be a more supernatural version of that, seeing Sereth Ungol turn into... is that the Green Tower that we're talking about?
The Green Tower? No, the Tower of the Moon.
Yeah, the Green Tower.
No, there's no Green Tower. But to learn more details of the Blue Wizards, who they really were, we don't know yet if the Tolkien estate will open up further avenues of licensing to material that they're still famously protecting. They're so famous for, well, at least Christopher Tolkien was, while he was still at the head of these family decisions. Christopher Tolkien was draconian. He was like Smaug, protecting his treasure hoard. He was protecting the properties of Professor Tolkien. That's why you've never heard anything about the Blue Wizards.
That's right.
But the future may change. What do you think of that?
We
Just a
got
bit
great
more
questions
than
coming in.
Smaug.
There's great questions coming in from Periscope and Twitter that revolve around, are you guys really okay with this TV show? Are you really okay with young Aragorn, like, instead of having new characters?
What kind of question is that?
No, like, people want to know. Are the hardcore fans here?
We, the hardcore fans, are okay with it because the Tolkien estate is in bed with Amazon Studios, and they're part of the deal. Amazon Studios cannot take the story too far afield or too far astray from Professor Tolkien without them having veto power. So yes, this is going to be an interesting and slowly developing story, and we have a lot more to learn, but I'm enthused. I'm enthused for that reason alone.
And I see where that question is coming from, because there is a plague of only developing intellectual properties that have already been established with characters that companies already know, make money, and they don't want to take chances on something new.
Exploitation.
Yes, so I understand the question, but as Cliff said, this is the situation where it's okay. This is where you can make that exception, because the Tolkien estate are the ones with their pedal on the gas, their foot on the pedal, so to speak. They're the ones who have ultimate control over this, so it's not going to be this shallow, vapid, exploitive cash grab that it has been with so many other intellectual properties.
Counterpoint.
I mean, they're making money. Don't get me wrong. They're doing this for money, but it could be done right.
Counterpoint. J.K. Rowling was involved in the crimes of Grindelwald.
Was involved? Was involved? She wrote the damn thing.
Yeah, no disrespect to J.K. Rowling. Her material is not as, let's say, mature as Tolkien's. No, it's not on the same level as Tolkien's. Plus, it doesn't have as much history, nor does it have an entire family and estate and the history of that family behind it. With J.K. Rowling, it's really just her. And who knows how much she still cares. I mean, I know she wrote The Crimes of Grindelwald. But, I mean, she's getting paid a lot of money for whatever she hands them.
Hannah, what do you think?
This isn't like when she wrote Harry Potter originally and she poured her heart and soul into something that she did
You
not
don't think
know
she's pouring
was going to
her
make
heart
any
and
money.
soul and wallet into this? She's absolutely putting the...
I'm going to say no.
Whoa.
Because, well, I mean, she, don't get me wrong, she's a good author. I've liked what she's done in the past, but now that everything's becoming more on a grand scale, it just doesn't seem as personalized as it was with Harry Potter.
was before. You know, like where there's a real connection with the Harry Potter series. I feel like now, like ever since the new, I mean, I haven't seen the Fantastic Beasts, but it's just over marketed, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like there's no heart and soul to it compared to Harry Potter series. At least that's just my opinion.
No, and I agree. It's like with Harry Potter, it felt so like she's having you enter into a part of her mind where it's like, hey guys, I want to show you something cool. Welcome to Diagon Alley, you know? But like now, I mean, okay, so I like the first Fantastic Beasts, and the thing with the new Fantastic Beasts, I like the first and the second act. I think it's fine. Yeah, there are continuity errors in it, but the whole third act is a mess, and I'm not even going to get into it because spoilers.
So does the viewing of Crimes of Grindelwald now give you pause about the Tolkien, the Lord of the Rings series?
No. It only gives me pause about J.K. Rowling's relative strengths as a script writer versus her relative strengths as a novelist.
Okay.
J.K. Rowling may have great strength as a novelist. She specifically wrote the screenplays, and the screenplays are filled with turgid melodrama, overuse of emotion, really strong emotional flashbacks that don't feel earned. The flashbacks and the emotions don't elicit like they're really earned. They just feel like soap opera moments. And there's some weird editing. There's some weird edits, right? And then suddenly somebody will be like, where is this person? We haven't seen them for 7 or 8 minutes while one person is monologuing about some old family crisis. And then you turn and look and say, oh, there's a secret chamber. And suddenly there's 60,000 people that we didn't see had suddenly been arriving this whole time that were never
All right,
seen. You know what I mean?
Saying too
You saw how
much.
there's some weird edits.
No spoilers.
There's some weird edits in the film and some stuff going on.
And another thing is, too, it's like she pulls such heavy themes out of thin air. And again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the thing with Lita, it's like, holy crap, why would you know, why? I didn't see.
Well, that's
like really heavy out of nowhere with a character that I don't have any reason to really care about in the first place.
Why would you put that in? Like, I didn't care about her in the first place. She just got introduced, and then you're going to pull, oh, okay, yeah, there you go. I'm going to take, for instance, my favorite character in her whole entire universe, and one of my husbands, Remus Lupin. Sorry.
Whoa, what? No spoilers.
It's okay. I don't mind.
No spoilers. Anyways. Hey,
what are you talking about? That's not spoilers.
As we
not
wrap up the
spoilers,
live portion of the
excuse
show, we got one last question from Billy Joe, watching so early in the morning at 2:15 a.m. in the UK.
You were a brave man.
Do you think the languages of Tolkien will be in use for the Lord of the Rings Amazon series?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Language was his life, so.
They could not make the series without authentic Tolkien languages. People would lose their minds
should the orcs,
if they just had everyone speak English.
Should the orcs use the language like they did in the Hobbit movies, or should they have Cockney accents like they did in Lord of the Rings?
That is a good question. Leave it to you.
Depends on the regional errors, because okay, now I'm gonna sound like I'm a bad person, but in the more developed first world areas where orcs and Uruk-hai and goblins and whatnot are present, Cockney accents because they're more developed. But
we got another text on the hotline from Jeannie Bourgeois, who says,
"Hello, Jean.
While I think the series should certainly open with the child Aragorn and his mother on the run, the season really should center on Aragorn in his young adult life. Yes. Like Elrond revealing him to his true identity, to when he first meets Arwen and all of his many adventures. There's just so much setup that you can do with a teenage Aragorn in the first season that allows you to go forward and backward in further seasons.
I agree.
So I want the Riverdale of Lord of the Rings, the
No,
first season.
That's a terrible analogy.
I want
Bite your tongue.
Riverdale, but in Rivendell.
I did not travel through fire and death to bandy words with the wicked worm.
I would rather have the Twin Peaks of Aragorn.
Twin Peaks, no one would understand it.
We are not having our precious property turned into some teenage mainstream melodrama crap.
For $1 billion, that's what they're counting on. Amazon is paying $1 billion for this series, the most expensive TV show.
They better do a damn well good job with it. I'm just saying, if they're spending that kind of money.
I'm okay with an angsty teenage love story. No.
Look, seriously, they don't need to do that. They need this show to be like Game of Thrones, not like Riverdale. Think about it. Think about what you're saying, Justin.
I disagree.
Think about what you're saying.
I wholly disagree. I want the flip of that. I want Riverdale.
You want the flip
not
of that.
Game of Thrones.
This fool.
We already got Game of Thrones on the big screen. Anyway, this has been a wonderful show, Cliff. Let's give a shout out all the food that was here and everything like that.
Yes, Letitia. Excellent food. And I think Amazon is going to very consciously try to copy the model of Game of Thrones because that was so incredibly successful. That's just where their heads are going to be at. We got to make a Game of Thrones. That's what they're thinking.
But they're gonna also, Justin, try not to go so far away from what Peter Jackson made in his 6 films. Keep that in mind. They want it to look and feel like you're going back into Middle Earth. And we may speculate now and continue to speculate until we get more news. When we confirm this, come to theonering.net and we will break the news here first, and the whole world will learn about it.
We're here at Scum and Villainy.
We're here every Tuesday, but look,
starting to come
I'm
in.
saying that if they want it to look and feel like going back into Middle Earth, it needs Howard Shore and the return of Howard Shore's music.
I don't agree. I think
we're gonna. Everybody agrees with me. Yes,
Hobbit,
yes.
I think its Hobbit soundtrack was less than The Lord of the Rings.
Seriously, you guys come and join us live here at Scum and Villainy every Tuesday, right here, 5 o'clock. What's that, Ben? What you got, Ben? What you got?
Oh, I was just going to agree with getting Howard Shore in there. I'm a big fan of film soundtrack. I would understand if they can't get him personally, but at the very least, use his themes and get someone that he would personally approve of doing that music.
He's already written all the themes we want to hear out of him.
Yeah, we've got a library of music from him that we can use. Get somebody that at least has Howard Shore's personal stamp of approval. If you don't,
Hannah, let's remind people all the food that was here today.
Yes, food brought to you by my mother.
What was all here? You got pie, you got turkey,
and Clifford Broadway as well.
What else did you have there?
Oh, a menu again? Okay.
Yeah.
We got green bean casserole, turkey, pumpkin pie, cranberry sauce, stuffing, mashed potatoes, sweet yams, and rolls.
A very Hobbity Thanksgiving if I've ever seen one.
Cool Whip.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
That's the correct pronunciation of it, too. So.
Well, Cliff, this has been the most wonderful Thanksgiving episode I think we've done. Thanks to Scum and Villainy for hosting this.
Thank you, Scum and Villainy. And for everybody, come on down, join us while we finish up our meal. And you know what? This is our first annual. Justin, let's continue this, and let's have every year another Friendsgiving. But we don't need to make you have to cook. We'll get other people to rotate and cook, Letitia. You take a break next year. This is amazing. My hat is off to you, love. You are amazing. The Hobbit mama with the mostest food, the best food this side of the West Farthing. Thank you, mamacita. Gracias. Gracias. And now I say to everyone
here. We're here every week.
It's pronounced Letitia, not Letitia.
Did I do that wrong? Leticia? All right, listen.
She told me Letitia. We had a conversation at the table. She said it's Letitia.
Oh boy.
Are you messing with me, girl?
All right, I'm cutting this.
All right, Justin.
Thank you, everyone.
Justin, come and join us next week on theonering.net. Everybody, buenas noches y buena suerte. That was the best Thanksgiving dinner ever.
So good.
Wow.
I'm Beyonce.
I'm actually still trying to sample more.
I feel like we could put together several Tupperwares and hand them out on the street.
I'm about to have some.
I'm like suppressing everything down right
Yeah, no, same. Like,
I know, just like
bloated.
I'm so glad everybody enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was really good. Your first time making this, or you made it like every year?
No, I make it often.
Often.
I've made it often
Really
throughout
good.
my life.
Usually I'm very picky with green bean casserole because of like the mountain mushroom in it. But this is actually really good. Like no joke. Like I actually scooped it clean because usually my mom, like when she cooks green bean casserole, she'll either have it too much in one portion and not enough with the other, and then the next year she'll flip it like too much green bean but not enough mushroom. So, but this is really good.
I'll use this plate.
I'll take one.
Boy, that was good.
Next year I'll bring in my famous charcoal turkey, and then I'll my charcoal yams and my charcoal.
oh, that sounds
I can't.
interesting.
It'll clean your inside. Oh yes, no.
Very good.